James Mulkey.
Here.
Jill Brazil. Lenny Trusser here. John Massengill.
Here.
Mr. President, I will form.
Very much. We'll move on to item 3, prayer and pledge. Mr. Stone, who do we have this evening?
I'd like to welcome Highland Forest.
Good evening, Mr. Toscano, President Massengill, and members of the board. It is my honor to come before you this evening and present a few of our exceptional students from Highland Forest Elementary and their equally amazing choir teacher, Miss Tonsel. I just want to say that we had sing-alongs last week for 4 days in a row, and Miss Tonsel stayed every day for about an hour and a half for the sing-alongs for each of the grade levels, and it was an amazing performance. So thank you, Miss Tonsel. So we have Lacey Tishner and Mallory Mireles who will be singing our prayer and pledge, and Lola Guntanti and Andy Robles will be singing 2 of the pre-K songs.
Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please stand. Please bow your heads for a moment of prayer.
Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for our family, teachers, and friends, and for everyone joining us tonight. Thank you for being faithful and helping us continue to thrive this school year. We ask for wisdom to continue walking in love, peace, and unity in all that we do. We especially ask you to keep us all healthy and safe. Give us the strength and grace to have a successful school year as we strive to grow individually and as a family. In Jesus' name, amen. You may be seated.
Last week we had a full week of winter sing-alongs, showcasing each grade level pre-K through 5th grade. Tonight we would like to share a couple of songs from the pre-K program featuring 2 of our students, Lola Kutani and Andy Robles. They will be singing I'm a Little Snowflake and Twinkle Twinkle Christmas Star.
Floating to the
always going above and beyond in whatever you do. Will the families of these amazing friends please stand up to be recognized, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. Thank you for sharing your kiddos with us. Thank you all for your time and allowing us to showcase some of our amazing students at Highland Forest.
All right, that's going to be a hard act to follow. All right, we're going to move on to item 4, awards and recognition. Mr. Connell.
Sir, I'll turn it over to Mr. McKay. We have some outstanding employees and we're eager to recognize this evening.
Yes, sir. So tonight we'd like to recognize some of our employees for how they cultivate culture. So we define cultivates culture as an inclusive and caring culture that embraces a sense of belonging, openness, and endless possibilities for all stakeholders, so that all students are provided with the best possible student outcomes for the East Central community. So you may not be aware, but every month we send out a survey to all of our principals. They nominate staff based on this month around cultivating culture, and we have some of East Central's finest that we're going to recognize now. So first we would like to call up from Cass Lee High School, Kathleen Thompson. Stay up here just for a few minutes, Catherine, as we take a few pictures. We also have a little video, so just stay good. We'll get to play this video.
We are thrilled to celebrate the outstanding contributions of Miss Catherine Thompson, our esteemed CTE practicum teacher at Cass Lee High School. Ms. Thompson is being honored for her remarkable dedication to the Leading the ECOA competency of cultivating culture, showcasing her unwavering commitment to fostering a positive and supportive environment within our school community. Nominated by interim principal Erica Jackson, Ms. Thompson consistently goes the extra mile by orchestrating a weekly breakfast and implementing various initiatives, ensuring that the Cass Lee atmosphere remains vibrant, encouraging, and uplifting. Ms. Thompson is a beacon of support and inspiration for our students. Ms. Thompson has an incredible talent for making every student feel not just welcomed, but truly loved at Cass Lee. Please join us in congratulating Ms. Catherine Thompson for her outstanding achievements and unwavering dedication to cultivating a culture of positivity and support.
Let's give her one more round of applause. Also, we know that it never is done alone, so if we have any family or friends that may also be in the audience, that's okay. Ms. Jackson, you can stand too. Up next from Heritage Middle School, we actually have a group of teachers that have gone above and beyond, which we'll explain in detail here in a minute. But if I can have Mr. Trent Thompson, Raymond Nunez, Gerald Pope, and Joshua Naninga. David Sosa wasn't able to make it, but we'll talk about him just in a minute. These gentlemen lead a group called the Young Men's Leadership Club, and they took the initiative to do this on their own. And the video will explain more here in just a minute. There you go. Next time. All right, here we go.
Join us in honoring the exceptional dedication and impact of the following educators at Heritage Middle School: Trent Thompson, Raymond Nunez, David Sosa, Gerald Pope, and Joshua Naninga. Together, they've exemplified the pinnacle of the Leading the ECOA competency, cultivating culture. Principal Mary Alice Gomez proudly nominated this outstanding team. Mr. Trent Thompson initiated the Young Men's Leadership Club, a platform dedicated to mentoring and guiding our male students. Each of these exceptional teachers dedicates daily sessions to support and inspire our young men, emphasizing respect, responsibility, integrity, citizenship, and the importance of presenting oneself for success. Their commitment has significantly contributed to shaping our students into respectful, responsible, and principled young men. Let's proudly recognize their collective effort in guiding our young men toward a path of integrity and responsibility.
Let's give it up for one more time. Same thing, just giving family and our friends in the audience, if you would also stand and be recognized. We really appreciate it. And also just one note that Ms. Gomez wanted me to share was that Mr. Nunez was just named Heritage Middle School Teacher of the Year. Fantastic.
Alright, with that, we are going to take a short recess of about 10 minutes. We'll reconvene at 6:52. That'll allow all the parents of these fine young ladies down here that get that form to get home and get ready for Santa come. So we'll take a short recess and we'll see you back at 6:52. Alright, we'll reconvene. Move on to item 5, public comments. No public comments. We'll move on to item 6, PHCS Public Hearing Financial Integrity Rating Systems of Texas report. Mr. Scott.
Sir, Mr. President, trustees, this is an annual requirement. We have a public hearing regarding our annual first report. The district did receive official notification that for the 21-22 school year, the district, based on 20 financial indicators, such as administrative cost expenditures, accuracy of district financial information, financial vulnerabilities or material weaknesses in internal controls, etc., that the district did receive a superior achievement rating, which is consistent with the last 20 years. However, this year, we received a perfect score of 100, which is exceptional.
Being that this is a public hearing, is there anybody that would like to speak in regards to this first financial integrity rating systems? No? Other than that, we will move on to item 7, trustee reports.
Mr. Massey, although as Mr. McKay is queuing that up, I will speak on behalf of Miss Judy because I know that she will not take any credit. She's going to say, if I allow her to, it is a team effort, and that this is really because of the exceptional budget stewards all across the system, which I would wholeheartedly agree. But there's this flight vehicle that's here probably 7 days a week, 364 days a year. Probably the only day she's not here is Christmas. And so, Judy, we thank you very much for your leadership. Keeping us to task as it relates to our financial integrity and stewardship. So, attitude reflects leadership, and this is a reflection of your leadership. Thank you. Great. Chief Budget Steward.
All right, Mr. Shane. Ginger, you're up.
So, teacher appreciation at the girls' basketball game. Callie, my oldest, is the girls' basketball manager, so we get to go hang out with the girls a lot. They just did last weekend. They volunteered at the Pancakes for Santa at the high school, and then they did Wreaths Across America. Coach B is amazing at getting these girls together to do public service, and I really appreciate that because it's good for them to learn early to do that. I got to be at Tradition when it was just so happened that Coach Hub was delivering the peanut butter bowl trophy to Tradition. They collected the most peanut butter in the district, so that was fun. The top one is Chloe was the ball girl, and then it was the same night as the middle school recognition, so we had Heritage and Legacy there, which is great because the seats were full and it was really loud in there. It makes my heart happy. And then Coach ran into, who was that lady, Coach? One of your students or something? She came right over, she's like, I know I'm lucky when I see one. Yeah.
She has a job at the bottom there, that's one of my ex-students, and she had a granddaughter on the girls' team. Right, I tell you.
And then the fall athletic awards were the other night, which was great. I know Miss Ariola said that we finally got it back in-house, and everybody was excited about that. Just the energy in the room was amazing to celebrate all the fall athletes and their accomplishments, so that was fun. Yesterday we went to St. Clair to see Mr. Harvey and his team. Great leadership and great camaraderie and just the way they work together and the way they are together. It just really makes me happy. They got 100% on their nutrition evaluation, their food service evaluation. I don't know if I said that right. And they have a great team in there. They decorated the hallway. They had a door decoration contest, so we got to see all that. That's one of our students, Ivy Cox. She's a daughter of one of our coaches. Also, she's a senior and she's in the health science program, so she was at the nurse's office. I got to go with her. And that's Miss Dilla. She got Teacher of the Year for the Teacher of the Month at St. Clair. She's amazing. And then we also went to Tradition. That's the middle one to visit with them. They won the duck decorating contest for the foundation game, the duck drop. And they had Happy Dipsmas. So they had a bunch of them, like 20 dips for the teachers and stuff come in and help themselves. They also had a decorating contest, so all their hallways were decorated, doors were decorated. It was awesome. The one with the checkered, black and red checkered, those are teacher prep students in this Viator's class. They go and help with the teachers and the students. They just sent, I think they got 20 students, if I'm not wrong, sorry, that just qualified for state or regionals, but they get to move on to the next thing, like Kalahari. Invite me, I'll go, because that's really fun. And then the St. Clair program was last night. Oh my gosh, these two littles right here were so amazing. Just imagine a whole stage full of them. It was great, 3K through 5. It was awesome. They sang like 2 songs each group. They were organized in and out, super fun. All the smiles makes me so happy. I love Christmas music. And then the Christmas Carol and Heritage Band, we got to see Heritage play. They just picked up and started working with their mouthpiece thing in October or something. And then September, something like that. Sorry. It's on my Facebook. September and then October they started working with instruments. They did great. Like it was like they had been playing for years together. It was awesome. And the Christmas carols, there was new things in there. I noticed them, like the way they background noise the Christmas past guy. If it goes, it sounded like an amplifier or something like a machine was doing it. It was great. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Coach Ray.
You got to recognize Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, my boy. In between the girl with the green shirt and then the shirt right in the middle. I wasn't in the video, but not Jeremiah.
That's Jeremiah.
That's it. Sorry.
Move on to.
I had the opportunity to participate in the annual Snow White Greenway Parade. Santa comes to Greenway. We've been doing this since 1997. And we had a few layoffs since COVID, but we came back full force. I was going to do this, that one on the left with all the people that put it together, and you can see we had some big kids and we had the little ones. We had participation from everybody, and it was a lot of fun. It took us 3 hours to do this. We had special needs, we had all kinds of kids. We don't discriminate. I mean, there's a kid in everyone. See that guy right there in the region? I want to talk to Santa about what I mean. I said, okay. I want to see him laugh. I said, okay. And so he did. And the little one on the left, he says, I want to hug Santa Claus. He was so happy to see me. He came over to me and hugged on Santa. Wouldn't let go. We had the chief and the fire department people. They participated. They were willing to participate. Heck yes, as long as we don't have any incidents, we'd be glad to participate. There's a little video on the right. They came over and sat on my lap, not a problem. And see the lady on the left there in the wheelchair, she says, I want to take pictures. Absolutely. And then the lady in the middle, she said, I see you want to stand and take pictures. No, I want to sit on your lap. My wife says, she can have it. You can have Santa Claus. She said, I don't think anybody wants to go to Santa Claus. The folks on the right, they're the RV Resort Park. They had asked us a couple years ago to participate. I said, absolutely. Anybody that wants to participate, we're glad to have it. Now, the only thing I have that's a downer is that we keep it to the Greenway proper, the old Greenway neighborhood, because we do. That was Noel White's dream way back in '97. He was the one that went out and got this outfit, and in his honor, we continue to do this, and we will continue to do this until such time as the wheels go off on this old man. And we will continue doing this. And I think I have more fun than the kids do. I harassed the heck out of everybody. I enjoyed it tremendously. One thing I won't do next year is get off of that trailer. Because by the time I got through, I was exhausted. So that chair that I was sitting in, we nailed it to that trailer. We screwed it down to that trailer so it wouldn't slide off. In case he had to stop real quick, like, so next year what we plan to do is what we do is, you want to give a gift, you buy it, we don't have it for it. You buy the gift, you wrap it up, put your name on the individual that's going to get the gift, you bring it to us with the name of the individual, of course, on the package, and the address. We'll stop at your house. Santa will make a presentation. And Santa will give that child or that individual what for, especially the little ones. Oh, they want that gift, and then Santa will just give them a hard time finding the gift. Meantime, you take all the pictures you want. You want a video, you want a picture, whatever. And even if you don't have a gift, Santa will take the time to take a picture. Because it's about the children. It's about the day. It's one day that we do this. So we do this for them. For young and old, as you can see, that lady in the black, she is young at heart. You see the little video with the little bowl and all, so she's a young. That's what we do it for. And I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to do it. And we're going to take the time it takes. It took us 3 hours to do this. And we will do it. And we will continue to do it until such time as it tells us to do it. Because it's about the spirit of Christmas. And that's what we're doing.
Okay, I was invited over to, Mrs. Brenda Irvin invited me to Thanksgiving, and I'm telling you, it was a great Thanksgiving luncheon, and her staff was so friendly. They met me at the door, and I went in, and they, there's a very, very friendly staff, officers very friendly, and we had a great lunch over there for Thanksgiving. Thank you very much for that, for the invite. And then, okay, I met the officer. Okay, also during the month, I went to some basketball tournament, South End boys basketball tournament, really a competitive tournament. We played some of the top schools around the Dallas areas, and if you know anything about basketball, Dallas, when you play those teams, they're very aggressive. The fans are aggressive, but our team played very well, and and they represented this community with the class, and they beat some of those top teams from Dallas, and I really enjoyed that tournament. I came on and watched our boys play against TMI. TMI, you know, it's a school that recruits across the country, across the city. They have a celebrity head coach, Bruce Bowen, which was in the house. Tim Duncan was in the house. And our kids really stepped up. Bruce Bowen wasn't on his best behavior, but we showed our best behavior. And I'll tell you what, and our kids really played well and defeated TMI. And I was proud of the team and after the game. Also, I went to Sinclair's Christmas program last night. Thank you, Mr. Harvey. You guys have put an excellent show on, and we enjoyed the show very much. Also, what did I do here? Okay, I ended up over at Tradition yesterday. I hadn't been to Tradition in a while. Well, I guess I hadn't been there but once or twice. And Ms. Kopek, I want to thank you so much for taking time to take us around and show us your campus. It's a beautiful campus. Under the overcrowded conditions that you are working in, and as we walked, she never complained. She just showed me and told us how she was providing and taking areas and creating workspaces for her students and for her teachers. And if she would have been griping and complaining, no, I wouldn't have blamed her, but she had no excuses. No excuses at all. She was just saying she was going to make it work. She has over 1,100 kids at that school, bigger than one of our middle schools. She had 7 lunches, something I never heard of. You know what I mean? But I want to thank you personally for what you're sacrificing. She's not only sacrificing, she's sacrificing her office area, her principal area, to what? Create working environments. And the community ought to really respect what you're doing. And thank you to have a principal that would reach out and make those sacrifices for the kids under those overcrowded conditions. And I want to thank you personally. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so you'll see a lot of the similarities here. So we got a chance to go to the Heritage Middle School the Christmas concert as well. Enjoyed it, and seeing these. They started off, like Ginger was saying, with the mouthpieces and the beginner band, just knocked it out of the park. And then the honor band and was the wind ensemble, I believe. They're just amazing. I was talking with the band director from the high school, and he was pretty excited about all those that are coming up. So a lot of talent. There on the right, we went and had pancakes with Santa, and my family got an opportunity to go, and those are my only 2 grandsons. They're in the green, and then the other 3 guys that kind of look like me a little bit. Those are my boys, and of course my sweetheart there. We were able to take a picture with Santa. We didn't all fit in the sled, so we just kind of stood there. There at the bottom, I got on my social media, which was Facebook, I had a anniversary where it pops up, and it was a year ago, about the same time, and that was the first time I had an opportunity to go see the FFA. They were judging the swine at the time we were there, and awesome seeing those young people. And then we saw, I think it was a 3rd grade little girl. I believe she's in the, 4-H, I believe, and maybe FFA, I should have asked her, but I was just impressed with her leading that pig in that arena there, and would smack that thing and make it move where it wanted to. I was like, look at her. And then up at the top, my wife, she convinced me to do something that, I wasn't very good at, but I did some flower arrangements. I didn't win. That's okay. I figured I wouldn't, because I didn't know where to put it. Me and my grandson just started putting flowers in. Anyway, that was an awesome opportunity. I wanted to say thank you to the FFA, the floral arrangement. I promise I'll learn the title next time, but they did such an amazing job, and they're so welcoming. And then there to the left, same, we had an opportunity to go to the sports banquet there and just seeing all the different coaches, the different areas, these students that we have and the achievements that they accomplish, and their willingness and their energy to do all these things is just amazing. Got to see some basketball games. Talking a little bit about Coach, the bottom right, my right, I guess it's your right as well. That guy there, I walked in and I thought I saw Bruce Bowen, and when I saw Tim Duncan, I was like, hey, that's Bruce Bowen. But I saw him. Yeah, he was a little different coach. I used to root for him. I wasn't rooting for him that day. I was proud of our boys though. They finished with the class. There on the right, kind of hurry up a little bit. So we had an opportunity to go to several different sing-alongs. One of them is Highland Forest. That's where my grandbabies go, and I was over there cheering them on and excited about them singing. And it's neat to see. I have two grandsons, and they're two different personalities. One's outgoing. That's the youngest one. He had his bow tie, and it had the bling going on and the lights, and he was all excited. And my Nolan is my oldest grandson. Not as enthusiastic, but he put on a show too, and all the kids. It was amazing to see, and they had some just great performances up there. The one on the bottom, I was going to try to pronounce that, but I'm going to leave it as the Salado Christmas program, and it was amazing. I loved every part of it. The kids, the little ones, and their performance, and being able to understand it in Spanish was awesome. I loved it. It was cool. Don't get me trying to speak it, but I can understand it. I loved it, and I wanted to say a special thank you to Salado and the way that they handled everything. All those little ones, man, it takes an army, and you can hear it. I understand what that means, and you can hear that in the background. I was like, that's pretty smart, and that's just to quiet them down. I'll hurry up. I think I only have maybe one more slide, 2 more slides. And then I had an opportunity to go to Highland Forest field trip. My grandsons, they went to the museum and got to see all the little ones. Of course, they stayed in class, and we got to follow them and do some neat things. I got to go with my son. He had an opportunity to sit on a simulator. That's what he does for CPS Energy. He operates backhoes, and so he's over there showing his son and just showing off. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. I've never been on a backhoe, so he's got me beat on that. There on the right, that's also a Highland Forest. Looks like Highland Forest performance there. And then my wife there, we had an opportunity to take pictures with my grandson. The bottom corner there, we had an opportunity to go to St. Hedwig's Christmas tree lighting, and our choir was performing there. What an amazing, amazing job. The talent that we have at our school is amazing. And then the Christmas Carol, that was awesome performance. Just jaw-dropping. It was like, I mean, I can't say enough about it. It was just so much talent and well performed, and all the energy that was poured into that was just amazing.
Very nice.
You good? So last month, Forrest Hawthorne notified me of a meeting that he was going to have on a Saturday. What we were having here, or what he was having here with Mr. Charles Hopper. They do such a great job of running this program. But today, on that Saturday, they were bringing in 5 new schools with new kits. The schools that were brought in, the new schools that were brought in for Jerrington, Poteet, Brooks Academy, Medina Valley, Cotulla, and Floresville. So those 5 schools, I believe, are going to all have new cars. And for next year, or this year coming up in 2024, there are going to be 5 new teams at the ACE race. I think it's at April 20th, I think is the race that they're going to have. But there was a lot of dignitaries there at the including Ms. BK at the meeting, and some of the dignitaries that were there was Rebecca Villagran, president of South Texas Business Partnership, Cecil Montez, VP of Public Relations, EJ Moreno, VP of Membership and Partners, Adrian Lopez, CEO at Workforce Solutions, Kenny Benavides, Director of Public and Government Relations at Workforce Solutions, and Sandra Rodriguez, Youth Program Specialist at Workforce Solutions. again, my hat's off to Forrest and Charles Hopper, two amazing teachers that run this program and run the EC electricon team. They do a great job and had a great success. And some of the kids, I believe those are kids from Floresville, I believe, that got their new car and they're standing there taking some pictures. But anyways, it's an amazing day, and I really appreciate being invited to go out there. So that was what I did last month. Anyway. All right, with that, we will move on to item 8, superintendent's reports. Mr. Scott, 8.1, personnel report.
Trustees, this month's reports in your electronic packet. Please let me know if you would like any additional information. I would like to introduce Mr. Christopher Turnbull. I believe he's still here. He's not. He's here early. So maybe next time. He's our new assistant principal at CAS. Right next to Miss Erica Jackson, who's currently our interim principal at CAS. So Erica and Chris, welcome. He was.
Move on to 8.2, draft 2024-2025 district calendar. Mr. Scott.
Now I'd like to call Dr. Fuller up to provide the board with a brief overview of 2 calendar options that we're going to send out to the community and staff and students for feedback. But I want Dr. Fuller to give you a brief overview of the difference between the 2 calendars. In your electronic packet, there is a set of talking points, basically some bullet points indicating some of the nuances of each of the 2 calendars. Also put a hard copy of that in the miscellaneous folder as well for your reference. So Dr. Fuller.
Good evening, Mr. Maxfield, Mr. Toscano, and board trustees. So each of the 2 calendars are labeled. One of them says draft 1 and one says draft 2. And so those are the calendars. I'm going to just go through real quick just what are the differences between the 2. Draft 1 is very similar to the traditional calendar that we've had the last several years. So it starts back on this August 12th. The staff development days are very similar for school. And then if you look forward, the biggest difference is November 5th is a staff and student holiday because of the voting, because of the election day. So that is something that we had to add there and make sure. And so we did move a day that's normally after winter holiday to that day too, so that we give the day off for everyone to be able to vote in our facility and all that good stuff. Then we have Veterans Day that, and then if you look, Christmas holiday, winter holiday is 2 weeks. And the nice thing is that it falls in a nice part of the week, so it's not like it is this year. And then that's the biggest difference. Battle of Flowers is a little bit later next year, and so because the S is later, it goes into May, which is a little bit different than what we're used to. And then if you look at draft option 2, the biggest difference for draft option 2 is that we got a lot of feedback that the fall between school starting and Thanksgiving break, that there's not a lot of holidays and there's not a lot of breaks. And so we have a lot of tired students and staff. And so what we tried to do is be a little bit creative. There were some districts in North Texas and around that added a little fall break, and they're kind of add that in to try and break that up a little bit. So we start back on this calendar 3 days early. So instead of the 12th, it starts back on the 7th, which pushes back the staff development days by 3 days, starting on the 18th of July. That allows us to take October 10th and 11th as a little mini fall break there. And in addition to that, one of the other issues that we sometimes have is around Halloween, because Halloween falls on a Thursday, and so Friday, the day after Halloween, is always sometimes problematic. So what we did was we put a staff development day there that was in December. And then we put another staff development day on the 4th that is typically in, I think it's in January. And then you have your voting day still on the 5th. So those are the big changes between the two calendars. Trying to respond to some of the feedback that we've gotten, that we've heard that people like or not. So, any questions about the options?
And one other point of clarification is you'll see in April and May some identified staff student holidays that have stars. Those are bad weather makeup days. So we've been, in the last couple of years, much more clear up front that if in the event we have to close school for bad weather or anything else, that we will make those days up in the order that they appear. And so right now they're holidays, but under the circumstances, they may be a school day.
They're not optimal, but those are the 4 that are after winter. So those are why those are the 4 that are chosen, because those are the only 4 holidays after.
So they won't be popular, is why I mentioned it. Yeah, it's the Friday and Monday before and after Easter.
Yes,
Battle of Flowers, and then Memorial Day. So it's in the event. Yeah, so no bad weather, we're good. If there is bad weather, it's just what it is, right? So we want the community to know that in advance. So our intention tonight is to get your feedback. We'll, with your feedback and permission, send this out to survey the community, as I mentioned at the beginning. We'll gather that feedback between now and the next board meeting. We'll bring that back to you in January with any additional recommendations that we may have. And based on the feedback that we have, we'll make a final recommendation for your consideration for next year's academic calendar in January. Nothing today, just information. I just want you guys to see it and understand it before we survey the community, in case you have anybody asking questions out there. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, we'll move on to 8.3, bond construction update. Mr. Thomas.
Yes, sir. I'll call John Thomas to the podium. You have in your, both in your electronic packet as well as in your miscellaneous packet, the slide deck that Mr. Thomas will review as he provides his update.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have a pretty brief update for you this evening with a bond construction project. First being the security booth at the high school. We're going to do a punch list on that this Thursday. We have the majority of that worked out. They're working through getting the cameras up and running, some of the little pieces put together so that it can be fully functional from the school's perspective. But functionally, beyond that, it is their HVAC, electrical, connectivity. It's all working right now. And they did have staff in there this last week. They are working there this week to process people coming onto the campus. Legacy Middle School, you can see there that large picture of the fencing that is across the outdoor learning area. We still have the pouring to do there on the locks themselves, but then the hardware can come in, but it is there. The concession stand and restrooms, we're going to do a punch list on that Thursday as well. Substantial completion done there as well. We're working on a couple things, and then we'll be ready to hand that over to the campus also coming up here in the next 2 weeks. Honor Elementary School, I've got some links on there if you want to do a flyover, look at the exterior and interior. As you can see, the majority of the structural work is completed there. Also, we have most of it dried in at this point. We're still working through, the 2-story has windows. We're working through the front sections of the school to add windows as well. Decks are all there on the roofs, and a lot of the mod debris is there as well. On the interior, we've got walls going on the interior walls. We've got plumbing, electrical, and HVAC stuff going on inside of there as well. So we're making some good progress Things slowed down in the construction industry a little bit over the Christmas holiday, but we feel like we're going to keep our pace that we've set so far. We're looking like we're in good shape. Beyond that, we have, if you go to Tradition Elementary School, you'll see some road work over there to the side of it. Boris has been working on that road improvement that y'all approved last month. That is, we're on schedule with that, making some good progress. That is that road in there to give us access to the middle school itself, so we'll have a construction access so as not to disturb any of the traffic flow in the school. Beyond that, we presented a little bit last month the additions and renovations at Oak Crest and Highland Forest. In your packet tonight, we have the GMP, the guaranteed maximum price for Highland Forest. We got all those bids in, and with Jorson's help and LPA, we feel like we're in budget and we feel like we're ready to go. We're meeting with the staff there tomorrow to go over some logistic plans. There'll be it's a little bit different getting, there's a lot of earthwork that needs to happen in the back there, so getting access to large trucks in and out of there as we go forward will be one of our challenges, but I think we've got kind of a good game plan on that we're going to share with her tomorrow. In the next month or two, you'll also see Oak Crest coming forward, and we'll have that ready for you as well. Do y'all have any questions?
Is everything pretty much on schedule, even with the last, as far as like the outdoor, the big area of honor? I know the other jobs were pretty much this and the concession and the thing in East Central, the entryway food.
We feel like we're in good shape right now for honor. There's a lot of unknowns still ahead of us in the construction process. One main one being CPS's transformer. We have a date of March, but you can't get a better actual pin down date beyond March from them. We still have some communication lines that need to be moved in the front of that campus that we're trying to work through with CPS as well. Once that happens, we can do the road improvement, which we're going to shut that road down in Graytown for 2 months. It was actually supposed to start in June, and we're going into January because of the CPS delays. But we feel we should have substantial completion in July timeline is what we're shooting for. Contractually, we're still August, so we're still working on that. We might have some work going on the site. So you might have some playground, some of the exterior things still going, but we feel like we should get our movement. Yes.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
On that security booth, I don't know if you can answer that, I was kind of looking, how are we processing calls that come through there?
Yeah, so currently we have an employee manning it. We've got a cone that blocks any traffic coming in so that they stop and check in with him. If they're district employees like yourself with the East Central badge, we wave through. If you're a visitor, you'll be checked in. And so once we start to operate that thing, visitors will be checked in there. They have technology and the ability to check in visitors there. There'll be communication with the front office as well. So there just isn't going to be, once school starts, there won't be free access without checking in at the perimeter gate before you go proceed into the building or do the traditional check-in process with receptions.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So what happens is there ever any time that it's closed or unmanned or that they're still in there and so what happens?
Yeah, so it's possible, but our intention is for it to be manned routinely every day, so it'd be a standing duty station. So if somebody were to be out, we would have a replacement there. And in fact, the gentleman working it now is a substitute for the mission, who's just filling into that role. So it's not a very complicated job. So we can step in and get it done based on the procedures that are there. So we'll be manning it.
In the event of an emergency, does that fencing we're putting in go across that?
It does. Yeah. There are security gates that do block.
Not just the pipe ones, but the big fence.
Expand. Non-scalable fencing matches the rest of the equipment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but
So I do want to, while we're talking about, thank you, John, while we're talking about honor, in your miscellaneous packet, there's two documents I want to point out. The first is the proposed boundaries for honor and tradition. So you have the front and back. One of them is a zoomed-in boundary map of honor elementary school boundaries, it'll be a light blue. And then on the other side, it's blown out where you can see the tradition boundaries and the honor boundaries on the same at the same time. So you can see that all of that was traditions. As of next year, the blue segmented area, which is much smaller but much more densely populated, is going to be honor elementary school zone. The reason we chose those is because in working with our demographer, we determined that by opening honor elementary with about 650 students next year and reducing tradition down to about 450 students next year, that in the upcoming years they would fill back up at similar rates, keeping honor just ahead of tradition. So actually next year tradition is going to move from about 1,100 students to 450, but quickly build the coming years. Honor will open at 650 and have room for 300 more students to grow. And so working with our demographer and the projected enrollment growth, that is the best tactical approach to doing that. And if you look at the boundaries and the stars, the little stars represent where honor is and where tradition is, we were able to minimize the likelihood that somebody would be able to see honor and have to drive past it to go to traditional.
Okay.
Yeah, so we tried to make the boundaries as clean and logical as possible. We were working within the constraints of enrollment patterns, current and future. And overall, we did a good job. It took us a little while. We're planning on this document. This is just an overview of our communications plan for our community. Beginning January 15th, we're going to push this out to the community, and then we'll do that repeatedly, followed by some correspondence to mailboxes that will let individual families know what school, tradition, or honor their children are zoned to. We'll, in the upcoming months as well, be working with Ms. Kopek and Ms. Orsak to begin to work with the tradition staff to determine, based on enrollment, how many staff each assignment will need to move from tradition to honor, and then we'll work together to determine new processes that we've used in the past to make sure both campuses' grade level teams are solid, and then to the extent possible, folks can get the assignment that they prefer, again, to the extent possible. And then all along the way, we'll be sharing this information with the community, making sure that they know which school they're zoned to, that if they want to apply for a waiver, that there's a process for that. Eventually, we'll be able to complete all of our new bus routes, and we'll be able to let parents know not only which school they'll attend, but which bus they'll be riding, and where their pickup points will be. All of this well in advance of next school year. So just wanted you guys to have this information, because once we start pushing it out in June, you may have friends and neighbors asking me for more information. So we'll follow this up next month with a more detailed plan for what the rollout to prepare to open honor is as it relates to safety and security, curriculum instruction, custodial maintenance, and all things. So that way you have some really good detailed information to have communications out.
Sounds good. Ms. Kopek, relief is on the way.
And you guys are all aware, Stephanie Orsak, our current principal, honor principal. So they have to answer your questions about any of our construction updates, as well as any of our school boundary updates and communications plan for now. More to come.
No questions. I really appreciate this information.
More to come.
All right, we'll move on to 8.4, policy update 122. Mr. Scott.
Yes, sir. This is TASB's policy update 122, bringing it to you this month for your first reading. Through the course of next month, we'll be working across the department available who will receive these updates to review these policies, making suggested adjustments, as well as answering questions or taking direction from each of you. We'll bring it back to you next month for your consideration and possible approval. It is a big update following a legislative session. They typically are, and it's about 1,000 pages. So I would encourage you to start with the explanatory notes, which are a brief summary of each of the policies, and then dig deeper from there if you have more questions. So we'll be happy to answer any questions about update 122.
All right, well, we'll move on to 8.5, policy update, GKG local. Mr. Scano.
Also bringing GKG local to you for your first reading. We'll bring it back to you next month for your consideration and possible approval. This is a local policy that we're recommending the board add to accompany GKG legal. This policy is in regards to community relations as it relates to school volunteers. We, as you all know, have had a long-standing VIP program within which we welcome all volunteers who are interested, provided that they're willing to do a background check, provided that they're willing to go through the process to gain approval, and provided that we have a need for their volunteer services. And so we just wanted to codify that in a legal policy for you, for our community. And then we bring this back to you next month. There is an associated statutory requirement we believe this will allow us to resolve. So we'll bring more information about that as well next month.
Questions? All right, move on to 8.6, upcoming events. Mr. Scott.
Briefly, in your December and January calendars, in December, just a reminder, big holiday concert tomorrow at the PAC, 6 p.m., as well as the Christmas holiday break, which will begin this weekend, and it will run through January, where we'll be resuming classes on the 8th. In January, just pointing out that we have a holiday January 15th for students and staff, and Martin Luther King holiday. And then on the 18th is your next regularly scheduled board meeting at 6:30. And then, of course, you'll see that calendar as well as your refrigerator calendar, really chock full of spring activities. And I believe Mr. Metzger also had good information for your consideration in the January calendar.
Yeah, trustees, check y'all's calendar on the 16th. We'd like to have a special work session or athletic facility board work session on the 16th at 5:30 at Student Services to go over a report that we did LPA.
Yes, sir.
LPA we've done for our complete extensive athletic facilities that we have here. District-wide or district-wide?
Yes, sir. So the high school legacy and heritage, they did an assessment of facilities, really looking at accessibility, their current condition, as well as programmatically related adequacy. And so, as we know, we've got facilities that we've been able to maintain really well. We've been able to repurpose a lot of facilities over the years to make sure that our athletes across all programs have at least what they need. But we also know that some of the conditions of those age facilities present some concern for accessibility, in some cases safety, but also some issues around adequacy. So we've got some preliminary information that we want to workshop with the board around to bring some awareness, to answer questions, and to get some direction from you as we continue to study those conditions.
So it'd be January 16th, 5:30 student centers. Tuesday, yes, sir.
And
Then we have
it's gonna be where?
student services center.
Oh, student services.
And then 2 days later, we have the regular board meeting.
Got you.
So, All right. With that, we will move on to the action agenda item 9.1, 2022-2023 school district audit. Mr. Descano.
Trustees, per board policy CFC, the board shall have a review of its fiscal accounts and a formal audit annually by a certified public accountant. And this audit should be filed with the Texas Education Agency. So once again, the audit was for 22-23 was completed by Coleman Horton and Company. And Representative Walker is here tonight to provide a review. Derek? Also in your electronic packet, you'll see the entire audit summary.
Mr. President, members of the board, Mr. Toscano, Anna, good to see you today. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. I'll try to keep it short and sweet, if that's okay with you, Mr. President.
More than good.
Awesome. So I'll go over, our opinion letters and also some fund balance numbers. And colleague, these audit presentations are really nice as far as when it's a clean audit. Just like to thank Judy and Shannon for their hard work and effort in getting ready for us and getting us all the information we need in order to make you compliant with Texas education. So. Board packages, so if y'all have on your board, I don't think Judy passes these out, right on there. Okay, if you'll turn to page 4 and 6. This is the only thing in this audit that's ours. This is our opinion letter. The rest of this, the financial statements, the representations, that's all the district's, that's the district's responsibility. Our responsibility is to provide an opinion on these financial statements. And we believe as of August 31st, 2022, that the financial statements of the district present fairly in all material respects to operations of the district as of the end of the year. Also known as a clean or an unmodified opinion. This is the highest level of assurance that an auditor can give on set of financial statements. So congrats to the district. There are 2 other opinion letters in the back. So if the district receives federal funds, it's supposed to have an audit on its internal controls, compliance, and other matters. And then if the district receives over $750,000 in federal funds, it's required to have an audit on its major federal programs. Both of these were clean or unmodified. So unmodified, good job across the district. So congrats. So normally, I don't get into all these numbers. My experience is that everyone understands fund balance. With a change in fund balance, so I'm just going to stick with that tonight. So if you'll turn to page 21 and 22 in your packet. This statement is in essence, your income statement for the year. Profit and loss for us in the private sector. What it does is it presents some of your funds as major, and it tells you what your revenues were for the year, your expenses, what was the change in fund balance, and what was the ending fund balance. So on page 21, that first column represents your general fund. This is your main operating fund. This is where the majority of your Texas or your state money comes into. The majority of your property taxes, which are levied for your M&O, they end up here, and the majority of your salaries are paid out of this fund. So in this case, looking at 4 lines from the bottom, your total revenue, your general fund, was $97,043,767. 3/4 the way down, you can see your total expenses were $106,939,000. There was some transfers in and out. Bottom line, third line from the bottom, the change in fund balance for your general fund was a decrease of $5.1 million. We don't always, of course you want to add to your fund balance every year, but sometimes I think fund balance is a savings account for us individuals. You stick money away, you make a little money, and then you got the capital project you want to spend on, right? In y'all's case, y'all spend almost $10 million on capital projects, just general capital projects. So So, you know, a decrease in fund balance is not always bad. Just wanted to explain that. Your debt service fund, just looking at your change in fund balance, 3 lines from the bottom, that increased 1.5 million, leaving that with an ending fund balance of roughly a little bit over $10 million. Capital projects had a ending fund balance of $58,673,000. Bear in mind, when you issue that debt, if you issue $100 million in debt, your fund balance goes up $100 million. But when you spend that money, it decreases just as rapidly. So we would expect that to decrease as y'all finish up some of these construction projects. On page 22, that's all your other funds. This includes your child nutrition program, your campus activity, your Title I. They all get lumped up in that one column. That total change in fund balance was $174,000, which was an increase, leaving those other funds with a $3.5 million fund balance. So overall for the districts, that far right column, total change in fund balance was $55,311,000, leaving the district with an ending fund balance of $101 million. So bear in mind that includes those debt proceeds. So once you spend that, it's going to come back down to where you said. So, but other than that, it was a clean audit. Once again, as y'all were speaking earlier, it has to do with tone. You know, and that tone at the top. When you have a good board, you have good leadership, it makes the world go round. So, you know, and that's what we see here. Really enjoy working with your staff and appreciate that. If you have any questions? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Be careful.
Yes, remember that there's one page that I need 2 of you to sign. Page 3. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. President, recommend that the 2022-2023 audit of the district's fiscal accounts be approved by the board as prepared and presented by Coleman, Horton, and Company.
We have a recommendation from the superintendent to approve the 2022-2023 audit of the district's fiscal account to be approved by board as prepared and presented by Coleman, Horton and Company, LLP. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion from Victor Garza. Do I have a second? Have a second from Ginger Friesenheim. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. With that, we will move on to consent agenda. Is there any trustee that would like to have anything pulled from the consent agenda? If not, motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. So moved. Have a motion from Mr. Victor Garza. Have a second. Second from Emilio Carrasco. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Before we go to the adjournment, I would like to thank all y'all for all the hard work you do. As the gentleman just said there, it's great leadership that makes everything work very well, and we have great leadership in this school district. It is very evident of all the good reports that we always get. So thank y'all very much for all the hard work y'all do. I know y'all, everybody here that is dedicated beyond means. Like Ron said earlier, Judy, 7 days a week, 365. I fully understand what that is. I have one of those jobs as well. And it's tasking, but it's very rewarding as well. So anyway, with that, y'all have a Merry Christmas. Take this time off and enjoy your family. Even make some new friends over the Christmas holidays. You never can have enough friends, so enjoy your time.
Thank you for all you do. We really appreciate it.